Ah! Okay. Welcome to Human. I love doing episodes by myself because I can just sit down and record when I am feeling inspired and feeling a spark to do so. And there are going to be a lot more solo episodes coming up because I just have so many thoughts I'm excited to share. So stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast and following us on Instagram at Human Pod, as well as my personal at Jessica J. McDonald. And if you want to watch this, check out our Human YouTube channel. So now that that's out of the way, I didn't even plan on segueing into just giving myself promo, but today I'm going to be talking about, I originally was going to talk about kind of like loving, wanting to love and wanting to love so badly and like wanting a relationship. And then it kind of shifted. So like this, I don't know if this is like advice. This is just thoughts. These are just thoughts of mine. And I just like had this big epiphany that I wanted to share about dating. And I have only talked this through like once, and I didn't talk it through with anyone at all, but I just had this thought and I like impulsively deleted my Hinge. We'll see how long it's deleted for, but I really wanted to share this. So I had this realization that we are conditioned by society to feel like we should be in a relationship. Now, I think So I feel like it should be relatively obvious on this podcast that I am definitely someone who I'm passionate. I love loving, and I definitely am very interested in being in a relationship. And I've been on dating apps and I've been in serious relationships in the past, and it's definitely something like I just love and I just loving so hard, and this podcast makes me so fulfilled, and just like I love conversations with my friends, and I just love talking about life and relationships and all that. And so like I had this realization a few weeks ago that I'm going to dive into a bit later, just about how much I want to share that love, and so it's okay for me to want a relationship. But I had this epiphany about being conditioned by society to want a relationship. And I feel like if you go through TikTok really romanticizes everything. TikTok, my feed is, hey, welcome to single TikTok, or like talking about being single and how much it sucks, or like talking about dating apps and how much like we should try and like fucking get on dating apps and talk to other people, or like I don't know, and it's full of relationships, and it's full of couples and people loving and people kissing, and like the trend where you like kiss your best friend in the car, and oh my god, you end up dating for 6 months and you're so in love, and like that's fine. Like these things are great and these things are amazing parts of life, but first of all, I'm seeing it every single day on my TikTok feed, which is like my fault, I guess, because I'm going on TikTok every day, which is 100% like my choice. But I also am just seeing relationships be portrayed in such a way where it's like, why don't you have it? Why aren't you currently searching for it? And like, you need to try harder to get it. And so I just felt myself in this like really, really negative headspace that I'm just discovering that I really want to talk through, with my friends and my therapist, to shift this headspace though, where I'm like constantly searching for a relationship, and I'm so aware of this lack in my life. There's a lack of something. I don't have a man that's like mine. I don't have a partner. I don't have a relationship. I'm not in love, and therefore like my life is less fulfilling, or therefore I'm missing something and I need to be searching for it, or I need to be thinking about it, or I need to be trying to find it. And this is fucking bullshit, because I'm really happy. Like I want to acknowledge I'm speaking from a place of immense privilege, and I'm very like cognizant of that, and I want to, mention that and mention how grateful I am for the life I have and the experiences I'm living, and just who I am, especially being like a white cisgendered straight woman, and like a middle upper class woman. I'm very, very lucky to be sitting here saying I have a good life and I'm really grateful for it. Yet I find myself in this headspace where I'm like, why don't I have a relationship? Why aren't I worthy of love? Why doesn't someone, like I have all these good friends, why doesn't someone romantically see me as someone they would want to be with, as someone they would want to walk life with? And this is so negative, and this just like, it's like goes back to this headspace of like negativity and like looking at not being enough, when I'm happy. I love what I'm doing. I love who I'm speaking to. I love this podcast. I enjoy my me time and my free time for the most part. Yes, I get bored, but I think it's important to embrace boredom. And like, just the fact that I've gotten so focused on like the fact that I don't have a boyfriend being such a negative thing is just so ridiculous. And then I didn't realize how much I was actually being affected by this externally. I thought it was something wrong with me, and it's a mix between my mindset and my headspace, because I also talked to an old friend recently and went on this, like, I talked to Heather. She had an episode come out earlier this month, and I realized how even growing up, I grew up at a dance studio, but basically none of the guys were gay, and so we had like romance flings going on from the time I was like 10 years old to the time I was like 15 when I was there. And I realized, I'm like, oh my god, I've constantly been like talking to a guy and having a guy on my mind. So it's a shift. Well, I've been single for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, and I'm like, why am I not used to being single at this point? But the thing is, I am. I just feel like I should. This word should is so ridiculous, because you make up what you should and shouldn't be doing. Like, fuck society, like, in their norms or what they think you should be doing. And okay, so I wanted to go into this analogy. I was talking to my friend Tristan, who actually makes the music for this podcast. Shout out to him. He's amazing. Pitchboi on Spotify. And I was talking to him about, you know, how much I want a relationship. And he was like, okay, Jess, I have this analogy I want to like explain to you. And I was like, okay. And he was talking about cars, and he's like, think about if you don't have a car, and if you want a car really, really badly, the first car you see, you're probably gonna buy it and be like, oh my god, thank god I have a car now, because you've been so stressed about getting a car and you've been wanting a car so badly. You're gonna settle for like the first decent car you see, and you're gonna be like, cool, it like works, it like does the job, it's like not gonna break down, so cool, like I'm gonna get the car. But it's not about getting the first car. Think about a relationship. If you are sitting here being like, I want a boyfriend so bad, I want a boyfriend, and trust me, that's me. That's been me saying I want a boyfriend so bad. You're going to settle for someone who's okay, or you're going to settle for someone who maybe has some of the same values or beliefs as you, but maybe doesn't check everyone. I'm not saying they need to check every single box, but in some ways, like, I don't know, there are some non-negotiables that are important to have. And I also acknowledge how lucky I am to, like, I have such a genuine connection with my friends, and like, I can call Maya and I can fucking talk to her about anything. Like, good, bad, like, I'll call her and we'll be so excited about podcast things, and she'll match my energy and she'll be there to encourage me and be excited. Or I'll cry to her about a terrible day I'm having, or I talk to her about boys again and again and again, and she is there to support me and show up for me. And just knowing that, like, I have amazing guy friends too that like match my energy, they match my excitement. And why would I date someone who doesn't do these great things that even my friends can do, you know? Like, why would I date someone who like isn't super like excited about things that I'm excited about? And like, I don't know, I think it's like easy to get into hypotheticals about all of this, but I just think it's so important to hold people to a greater standard. I did an episode with Ivy Tide, the band that came out, I think last week, and these guys had amazing energy, and they were just so excited and just so warm and welcoming and just so comfortable to talk to. And I had such a great time. And I have had this experience with like a few other people on my podcast too. People that I've never met before. I show up and, well, actually, I haven't had the experience where I haven't met someone before and they show up and we do a podcast episode and it's just like so comfortable. And so I was so grateful to do that with these guys. And I was like, why am I trying to find a partner in life so badly that I might settle for them not matching my energy like that, or having similar interests as me? Like, you know, like, I was just like, oh, these guys are sick, I want to be friends with these guys. And like, when you try so hard to find a boyfriend, like the car analogy, you're probably going to end up with a kind of shitty one. Because if you want a car so bad, you're more worried about getting the job done. You're more worried about fulfilling, like, finding it than finding a good one. And so it makes me kind of like rethink what I look at every day and how I'm scrolling through TikTok every day, and it's telling me every day, why don't you have a boyfriend? Why aren't you on the romance couple part of TikTok? And I'm like, I don't need that. I enjoy spending time with myself. And like, yeah, it would be great to kiss someone and cuddle with someone and maybe fall asleep with someone. It would be awesome to be having sex with someone. But also, I'm pretty used to not doing that because I haven't had a boyfriend for 2 years. And I only personally want to be having sex with someone if they're my boyfriend. So like, what is different in my life if there isn't a man in it? Like sitting here being like, I want a guy. I'm focusing on lack. And why would we focus on lack when we can focus on all the things that we have? Okay, so now I kind of want to get into, I first need to talk about Pick My Brain, because every point I'm about to touch on is thanks to Pick My Brain. And that's why I love that Pick My Brain sponsors this podcast. Pick My Brain is an online platform where you can create your own profile and you can meet people from all over the world, and you fill out a bunch of information about yourself, and then people can book you for calls. They can book you for paid services. They can book you for paid calls. It's all about making yourself available to share your time, your knowledge, and your experience, and any sort of service you also want to put out there. And so they also have these events called brain dating or brain exchange. The name is a working title, but people from all over the world meet on Zoom, and you get put into breakout rooms and get to talk about different topics. And this community is just incredible. The Pick My Brain community is just full of people that I also get to. This is why so many brains, so brains are people who are a part of the platform. So many brains have been on my podcast, and this is because they are people who are just so excited and so open and so just open to sharing things about their lives and having really intentional conversations. And that's why a part of me is like, why would I ever search for a boyfriend so hard when I have all these beautiful people I can talk to about incredible different things about life? And why would I settle to date someone who isn't excited about life or won't match my energy or doesn't have some of the same values I do? And so Pick My Brain is really cool because it just exposes you to people who are like-minded, but also people who are so different that you can learn so much from. And that's what I love about these brain dating events, is that you just get randomly matched up with someone to talk about a topic. And I learned so much from every single person. So make sure you start your profile on Pick My Brain to be able to, show up to these events. You don't have to have a profile also to show up to these events. If you're interested in it, the link will be in my description. Check out pickmybrain.world on Instagram, and feel free to shoot me a message as well, and I will let you know how you can get connected and join these events where you can meet all these incredible people. So the next couple of things I'm going to talk about, I learned at this past brain dating event that I went to, and it really, really helped me and really opened my mind. One of the things I learned that someone was speaking about was when you want something so badly, you can squeeze it so hard to the point where it'll explode. And I don't know if this makes complete sense, but this is what happened with my high school relationship. Is my ex put so much pressure on our relationship and on me and on spending time together all the time, and wanted, I don't know how to word it, as in wanted to be together so badly, or wanted to just spend so much time together, or just wanted me closer and closer and closer, so much so that he pulled me so close to the point where I was suffocating and I felt like I was going to explode and I needed to leave the relationship. And I think that can translate into wanting a boyfriend so badly, or wanting a relationship so badly that the same thing with the car, you're going to get a shitty one, or you're not going to get one at all, or you're going to spend all your time focusing on this thing that you don't have, that you really can't control. And even if you're in a relationship, if you're so obsessed with how much you need that in your life, which I don't think you should feel like, I don't feel like I need that. I feel like it is something I want and it would be great to have in my life, but I also feel like I'm happy with my life. But if you're in a relationship and you're so obsessed with making sure that person stays close, it's going to explode, because we all need to be independent and live our own lives and know what fulfills us and be able to fulfill ourselves without all these other people involved in it. So that was one thing that I learned that was really big. And the other thing was that it's okay for me to want a relationship. I felt like I was going against my instincts to try not, okay, so my therapist actually taught me this, and I had a conversation with a brain today who he emphasized this as well, that our brain and the world as well is kind of like Google. If you keep saying for me, I was don't think about boys, don't think about boys, don't think about boys. Google won't see don't think about. Google sees boys. Boys is the key word. So it's just going to keep thinking about boys. With the world, if you're so focused on what you don't want, or you're so focused on, I don't know, something I don't want that outcome to happen. I don't want to end up alone. I don't want to, not be able to find a partner one day and have a family. That's, the world's going to hear whatever your fear is and focus on that, and that might be the thing that comes true. And Maxine way back, she has an episode on that I said a conversation with the CEO, and she's the CEO of Pick My Brain, and she says that her friend kept saying, my worst fear is I'm going to be left at the altar, I'm going to be left right before my wedding, and it happened. And so I think it's important to understand our fears, but when you keep vocalizing it, projecting it, or like saying don't think about it, like your brain's going to listen to what the key word is there to think about. Another thing is that I think being so focused on one thing, and I learned this from brain dating as well, is that when you're so focused on one thing, or you're so focused on what you want the future to look like, you are preventing other things from coming up. You're preventing all of these possibilities that you could have never imagined to arise. And I continuously say to myself, anything that you come up with in your brain as a story of what could happen in the future, like life is going to throw something even crazier and even more interesting and probably something even more exciting at you that you could have never made up. So kind of what's the point of making up the stories? But making up the stories is fun. It's cool to imagine the future and how it could make us feel. But I think it's important to be open to the possibility of anything coming our way. And then so this other part of like society and feeling like we need to be in a relationship and it being like projecting that like, you know, you're not worthy if you're not like with someone, it also will make us settle for love that is less than we deserve. I really need to work through this, and I really want to work through this with my therapist, is thinking about what type of, or like what level of love I think I'm worthy of, because I think I like to say I have confidence as a person, but I also feel like I have accepted less than what I've deserved in the past, yet I'll and someone else will end the relationship or the talking stage or whatever it is, and I'll get out of it and be like, oh, well, I didn't actually mesh with them that much, but why couldn't I make that call and end it rather than staying in it to try so hard to make something work that wouldn't? You know, like I think it's important to be able to identify when something isn't right for us and make that call. But sometimes we're so focused on having the relationship, that we'll settle for someone who there's certain things that actually we don't want in a partner. And so the last thing that I really wanted to share that I took away from Pick My Brain, and I love that Pick My Brain sponsors this, because seriously, become a part of the Pick My Brain community, because there's just so much to learn from all these people because they have such different perspectives. And like I said, like I have only one perspective. So if something I'm saying doesn't mesh with you, throw it out the fucking window, you know, because I think it's important to talk to different people and listen to different people's opinions and kind of figure out what aligns with us. And something I learned from, I was so happy when I got into a breakout room with this guy. He is a breakups and relationship, or not breakups, he's a relationship coach for women specifically. And so I was like, can we have a speed like session, please? And we had a few different conversations, and I was like, well, what's the thing you always say to women? And he said, lead with the thing that you're most afraid you'll get rejected by. For me, that's the podcast, because I don't know, that shouldn't be the thing I'm scared. I think I am scared I'll get rejected by it though, because it's the thing I'm most proud of and the thing I care about the most. And so for someone to shoot that down, like I'm scared that someone will shoot it down, but I should actually lead with the fact that I have a podcast and how proud I am of it and how much of myself I put into it and how fulfilling it is for me. Because if someone didn't think that was cool, why would I want to date them anyway? So lead with the thing that you're actually nervous to get rejected by. So overall, seriously, just so many takeaways from these people that I would have never met if it wasn't for this really cool event that matches me with people that I wouldn't have known before, and just so many perspectives. And I think it's important to follow our heart and not try and go against our instincts, because our instincts are there for a reason. And me wanting a partner in my life to share this joy and this excitement and this happiness that I feel and get fulfilled by in all these other areas, from myself and from my friends and from my podcast guests and from editing the podcast and from, my family and all these different things, wanting a partner to share that with is okay, and it's normal. And I shouldn't be like, Jessica, why are you thinking about how much you want a boyfriend? But I also need to recognize that like a part of me is conditioned to feel like I'm missing out on something because I don't have that. And that's because of social media. And I'll check back in and tell you what my next steps are to kind of navigate that situation, because currently I don't really have anything to share, because I also need to talk to my therapist about this and like really figure this out. And I'm also going to like talk to her about a bunch of ex relationships and shitty shit that went on with that, so I can hold men to a higher standard, or just like know that I don't need to settle for someone. Like, experiencing the connections I've made on this podcast makes me know that, like, there are people out there that I can bond with so fast, and I don't need to go deeply searching for a partner, because I think I'll be able to make a connection and know, and I want to be able to have a friendship with someone, especially before I have a relationship with them. I think that's so important, is to know that there's a real genuine connection there and that things really align. So, I'm sweating. I'm wearing a turtleneck. I never wear turtlenecks. I just thought it would look cute for the YouTube, so please watch the YouTube. Just kidding. Not really. The last thing I wanted to leave you with was Daniel Sloss. I was just shitting on TikTok for a while, but I found this video because of TikTok. How to be happy being single. I watched this stand-up comedy show at about the 32-minute mark. It's called Jigsaw by Daniel Sloss, S-L-O-S-S. And he explains kind of being single in a very interesting way. And he explains how love is projected to us in an interesting way. And basically the synopsis, he says it way better and way funnier than I will. So please check it out. You don't even need to watch the beginning. I didn't watch the beginning. I just went to halfway through and then I watched all the way to the end and I laughed my ass off. But in life, when we're searching for a relationship, our life is like a jigsaw puzzle. And there's different pieces to all of it. And there's friends and there's family and our passions and our work life and our home life, and our hobbies and our friends and our family, like I said. And if we put a relationship as the core of our jigsaw puzzle, we're going to keep taking people and trying to shove them into our jigsaw puzzle when a lot of them won't fit. And we'll keep shoving them in there and shoving them in there and shoving them in there and trying to make them fit into this jigsaw puzzle of our life. But a lot of people shouldn't be in our jigsaw puzzle. And feeling like we have to be in relationships is where we get this mindset, is where I got this mindset, to feel like I need a boyfriend more than I need someone who simply has a genuine friendship with me and I can really connect with and has values that I do and gets excited about things that I care about and I get excited about things that they care about. And that'll happen naturally, I think. I don't think we need to go searching so hard. It's hard because there's two perspectives on this. There's one that's like, if you really want a job, you're not going to wait for the job to come to you. You're going to go search for the job. So if you really want a boyfriend, should you not wait for the boyfriend to come to you? Should you go and try and find it? I don't know. And a lot of people say, like, I was just reading a text from Maya that she was replying to my whole thought about this, is that she's like, we're so young. And like, yes, we're so young. And it's true. And like, I'll be 20 when this comes. Nope, I'll be 20 when this comes out. Oh my God, I forgot. Oh my gosh. I am posting this the day after I turn 20. Happy birthday, Jessica. Oh my God. But yeah, no, like, I'm 20. I'm so excited to say I'm 20. It's so funny that I have a podcast, so I'm saying 20 before I'm actually 20, but I am so young. It's true. But I kind of hate when people are like, you're so young. Like, you don't need to worry about that. And it's like, I don't know. It's okay to want a relationship. It's so okay to want a relationship. And I'm making this whole episode walking away still saying, yes, I'd want a relationship. But I'm also changing my frame of mind about this. I don't need one. And a part of me is conditioned to consistently think something's wrong because I don't have one. Nothing's wrong. I am cool living life with me. And I have been living my life without me. Like, sometimes I question, like, can I be single? And like, am I functioning being single? I'm like, I've been single, Jess. And you don't need to keep searching for guys. You can know that genuine connections come your way, and I get to create them on this podcast, which I'm so grateful for. And it's okay to want to share that joy and that excitement and that happiness and that love that I feel and experience in life. But I think it's important to recognize that our society makes us feel like we should have a relationship and there's something wrong with us if we don't. So I encourage you to critically look at your life and the beliefs you may have. Work through it with a therapist if you feel called to, because I know I'm going to. Feel free to message me on Instagram and share any of your thoughts about this, if this resonated with you. If you disagree with me, I'm also so curious to hear your opinions. I love to hear these different perspectives because then it helps me shape my own views and my own opinions. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. And yeah, follow me on Instagram. message me on Instagram, subscribe to the podcast. Seriously, if you got stuff away from this, please leave a review too so I can keep doing what I'm doing. Let me know if you like these solo episodes. I really want to make more of them. Let me know any guests you'd want to have on. It is so cool to like have dream guests or like think up people that I'd really want to have on and then get to have them on. Like having Ivy Tide on was like so amazing. I love their music so much. Go check it out if you haven't listened to that episode. Seriously, go listen to it. Next week I'm having on Gabrielle Stone, an author and an actress who wrote Eat, Pray, FML, which is like such a great book, so funny. I'm almost finished it and I'm so excited to do the interview with her. I'm really excited about these like amazing people I'm having on the show and just how much I get fulfilled by them, and like talking to these people and knowing I can have conversations with them and like have them in my life and like hopefully be friends with them is so exciting. And I don't need to go searching for a guy to fulfill me, because guess what? I fulfill me. My podcast fulfill me. My passions fulfill me, and these guests fulfill me. And if you have something you really want to talk about and jam about, book me on Pick My Brain, because I would love to talk to you about something and jam about something, because I love doing that, clearly. So anyway, thank you so much for listening. I post every single Tuesday. I have bonus episodes most months, kind of every month, so make sure you're subscribed. And